Big bang boom, big bada boom, big bang boom, boom. December 7th, Carter Elliott, GregWaddell. Hi. A lot going on, except not a lot of good basketball games going on. In the next 2 days, if you haven't looked at the games that will actually be played, there's like one game I'm interested in watching. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, fellas, this is what we call, or honestly, I don't even want to put in the fellas category because I also want to shout out the ladies out there who like college basketball. This is an amazing 2-day stretch for a nice movie, a nice date night, anything, I don't know, maybe hang some Christmas lights or something like that. Because come this weekend, come Saturday, we got to lock in. But these next 2 days, unless you're a complete sicko and need help and want to watch Mississippi Valley State, you can take these next 2 days to maybe do some other things in life, outside of college basketball.
Yeah, it's like when the coach says, yeah, I'm going to give my team the day off. Like that's what we get today. Thursday is a day off if you cover the sport, if you love this sport. Friday is a prep day, and then Saturday we're back into it, which should make for a fun podcast today. We have a couple topics that we're going to lean on our Discord who prompted us to do. A couple Big Ten-oriented topics, and then I have one that I've just been sort of letting, I don't know.
Chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I've just been letting it fizzle. I would say that. It's been fizzling for me for a little bit, but
it's festering.
Festering and fizzle. I can't go with a fizzle.
No, because fizzle just like it goes out really quick. Fester means it just kind of it's prolonged.
I was looking for
my
sizzle
bag right now. I just brought out festering and prolonged. It's gonna be a good one.
You're way too clear-headed. I don't like it right now.
I took a melatonin last night and like it put me to bed.
Oh, I guess that'll do it.
Yeah, are you drinking no, this is unacceptable. Is that a gas station coffee?
No. Nope.
Whew.
No, okay. This is a my dad made me this coffee when I dropped my daughter off.
Okay, thank God. I thought that was a Speedway coffee or like a Sunoco coffee.
Yeah, I would never, but you are way too clear-headed for the fact that you're even like calling me out for visual things right now. I'm not used to this. I got to be on my A game right now. I'm scared. Hey, by the time you listen or watch this, we are going to have already done a room on Are you drinking tea? What was that?
No, it's coffee.
Oh, it looked like tea. I thought I saw a tea bag.
No, coffee.
Okay, just checking. We will have already done a Bleacher Report room. This is Thursday, December 7th. We have a room at 11 a.m. this morning. We're recording this about an hour and a half before that. But the reason I'm mentioning to you right now is in the hopes that you will join for our Friday room at noon. We've booked 3 rooms in the Bleacher Report app in December. We love the people over at BR. The last time that we were in the Bleacher Report app, we were told feedback-wise, we crashed the app. So that's a credit to all of our sleepers, followers, the community that support us. We would love to do that again because BR gives us some great opportunities that we, quite frankly, don't get from other places right now. And even if we did, we would much prefer to keep doing things with Bleacher Report because we love them. They've been great to us. They had us do the marathon stream in the NCAA tournament last year. We're hoping to do something similar, but even cooler, maybe on site in person this year. So anyways, we're going to have more of these rooms. Like I said, 2 more upcoming in December. The first one being Friday at noon. Mark your calendars. Join us in the BR app. If you just go to the college basketball page, you will see it pop up as a live stream that you can join. You can jump in the chat. We can answer your questions, and you can make fun of Carter and I live. It's basically the only place you can do that these days. For today, though, Cart, what's your YouTube comment of the day?
Before I do my YouTube comment of the day, I need to address a YouTube comment that happened about 4 days ago addressing my background. Somebody said that I had the background of a man who lived with his mother and podcast from his basement. I am podcasting from my basement. And because of that, I thought I would throw a little bit of artwork behind me, except I couldn't find artwork. So I just used my old college jersey and propped it up on an easel behind me. So I'm going to work on that, just so you know, but I do not live with my mother. I own a house. Me and my wife live here. This is our house. This is my basement. And it's actually pretty nice down here. I think if I could actually flip the camera or give I think I might do a basement tour eventually, like on our YouTube channel. you'd be able to see that it's a pretty nice establishment. So I just wanted to get that out there. But for the YouTube comment of the day, Gregory, we're gonna need some clarification and or a comment from you, because the comments are going crazy about the instant regret on Greg's face when he said, "Take that kid's meat, he will destroy him." Would you like to comment on the "take his meat" comment?
Yeah,
Because it's flooding our YouTube comments right now, and actually a little bit alarming that some people are like, "Yeah, he is gonna take his meat." TSJ 30 ball coming.
well, I mean, first of all, voice of the Illini. I don't feel like I should be questioned whenever I say an Illini member is going to take someone's meat. Now, in my defense, it was not the brightest moment. Like, I feel like we're watching film right now. That's what's happening, right? And I'm willing to stand up in the film room and say, yeah, I got to be better here. Like, I got to get a hard hedge here. I can't just come out and play drop like that. That's on me. I dropped when I was supposed to hard hedge. Also, I had just said take his lunch about 20 seconds earlier, and I pride myself on being a man of versatility when it comes to vocabulary. So I didn't want to go double take his lunch. It would have felt too, I don't know, too pointed to go from take his lunch to take his dinner that quickly. So I was looking for a variation of that phrase. What happened was that a very distracted me somehow settled on the fly on take his meat. That is unacceptable. It won't happen again. But the reason I was distracted, Cart, do you know why I might have been distracted in the middle of my awesome Terrence Shannon Dalton Connect monologue last night?
Because you might have been losing a absolute bet that you should not lose.
More so, I was seeing your reaction, because in between these recaps last night, Cart and I knew we had both bet Nebraska. We were rooting Nebraska to come back against Minnesota. They had already melted down at this point. But Carter has cable, I believe, and I have streaming services. And so I'm like 45 seconds behind any play that happens. And we had established this off camera when Carter had reacted to a play. So I'm like, damn, man, I'm not used to you being 45 seconds ahead. Then I'm cooking, right? I'm mid monologue. I've already got the wheels flowing in my head that are like, oh, this Terrence Shannon Dalton connecting. This is a clip. This is going to be something we can promote on socials. And as I'm feeling myself and I'm about 50% into it, I look through my Zoom and I see that Carter's paying no attention whatsoever to anything that I'm saying. Instead, he's leaning up in his chair like this, watching the Nebraska-Minnesota game, and I could tell Nebraska like had a big play, and then as soon as whatever happened, he sulked back so disappointed. And immediately after that, go watch the tape, go cut the tape. Immediately as Carter sulks, that's when my heart drops. I'm distracted, and it leads me to say Terrence Shannon will take his meat.
Still unacceptable conduct. It did go to review to we do have an HR department. It did go to review. We decided to handle it behind the scenes. No further punishment will be taken in this case. So we'll be okay.
Yeah, that's just the sleepers film room right there. That's all that it was. So
we do film work.
Yeah, can we cut some film of you at some point? Like, why do I feel like I'm under the gun right now? I don't.
Really my film gets cut all the time. There should be a Discord channel where it's just film cutting by me. If I stumble on one word or say anything out of line whatsoever, it'll be brought to the forefront.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I feel like I'm being held to unnecessarily harsh standards in a way that like you've never said someone was going to take someone's meat on this program.
Ever.
You've never said it off this program?
No.
Are we sure about that?
I am positive.
Like 100% positive?
100%. Is someone leaving us a voicemail?
I was going to bring a guest live on the show who just called me, but this person won't answer the phone. So if I get the opportunity to, we'll go right to it. That is what it is. I love bringing people live on the show whenever we have a chance. Should we just call Kevin Sweeney again?
Just for no reason.
Like once every 2 weeks, I think it should just be like, today we call Kevin Sweeney and see what happens. All right. I guess thanks for that. Way to start us off with a low light from me. To the Discord. Bunch of good comments in the last 48 hours in the Discord. I tallied the numbers, by the way. You were wrong. We're still 14 people away from 100.
Really?
Yeah. So when we get 14 more people, we have a happy hour episode ready to go. We need 14 more paid members to do this. We have 48 hours until Carter and I are going to be together. I don't know how we get 14 people to join the Discord in a paid capacity in the next 48 hours, but I need it to happen because if you and I could power hour together at midnight on Saturday night while we're sitting in my basement, I think that would be electric. Maybe people could even join, and then if they don't like it, just cancel. But my strong suspicion is you will end up liking it. But if we get 14 people to give us $10 in the next 48 hours, you'll have a power hour episode live.
Uh-oh. What is that? That's a sleepers flash sale for the next 48 hours. If we get to 90 paid subscribers, the power hour will happen. We have a flash sale going on. If we get to 90 subscribers, we will do the happy hour episode. That is only 4 more people. Make it happen. Send it to your friends. Have them join the Discord. $9.99 a month on your desktop. You want to be a part of the Sleepwalkers community. Do it now. Link in all the videos. Link in the bio. Link anywhere you see Sleepers Media. Join the Discord.
I did not agree to those terms, but I agree to those terms. See, that's just Carr really wanting a power hour with me. So also knowing us, we're going to be at like a fancy dinner, I think, with our wives in the afternoon. I know there's going to be cocktails exchanged. So like coming home to a late night power hour after a full day of hanging out with you might be a little difficult. But hey, we'll make it happen if 4 more people join the Sleepers Discord. Link in the description to do so. Starting us off with comments today, it's Jesse the Lost Baby Boiler. He is piggybacking off of Ryan the Lion's question yesterday, which was outside of Sleepers. How are you guys doing? Jesse says this: I could see how emotionally drained you guys were during recaps. Do you think it would be easier to cover this sport without an allegiance to a school? Or do you think if you covered the sport without a passion for a squad, it would be a waste of time? Fascinating question. What do you think, Hart?
I think the passion for the squad enhances the content in my eyes. I think passion enhances anything, to be honest with you. Like at a certain point, being that invested, yeah, it might be a little bit too much, but at the same time, it means you care, and it means you actually feel what happened. So is it difficult after a loss? Most definitely. But at the same time, I think that passion for the team carries over to college basketball in general.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I'd now like to welcome on Andrew Robeson live on the Sleepers podcast.
Hey.
Roby, how are we doing this morning?
Doing wonderful.
What's going on, my
How are
friend?
you?
Just doing great. Just recording an episode. Carter's on the other end. You're on speakerphone.
Happy belated birthday, Robes.
He says happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you, Cart.
Roby, do you think passion is a good thing?
I think yes. I say passion's good.
Is there like a line though? Like, is there a limit? Like too much passion sometimes can be bad.
I think it's the way it's demonstrated or how it's shown can be negative.
What are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about?
Yeah.
I'd say I'm passionate about Michigan State Spartans.
Does that cross a line sometimes though? Like, do you ever like wish that, like AJ Hogarth could take somebody's meat?
Yeah, I mean, it does. I think passion can make you blind to the truth. I for like that, I would say I still hold out hope that he's going to have a very successful senior season.
No, let it go, Roby, let it go. He won't. Let it go.
I have blinders on.
Yeah. Carter's yelling, let it go. Speaking of let it go, I'm going to let you go, Andrew Robeson. Thank you for a great appearance on the Sleepers podcast. I'll call you later this afternoon. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. That's just my longtime best friend, best man at my wedding, Andrew Robeson, former Sleepers podcast appearer. He used to, when we did the NCAA tournament predictions back in the old days, Roby was brought on to be the coin flip decider. Whenever Carter and I didn't agree, it was let's throw to Roby and he gets to make the decision. Still fun episodes to go back and listen to, but that's just a fun bit. I'm going to take phone calls anytime someone calls me when we're recording from now on. I enjoy that. And yeah, back to Jesse's question. I do think the hard part for, I think, with us, with what we're doing, the recaps, is I don't think it's hard to do this when our teams lose. I think it's hard to do this and put all the rest of the work into other teams on a night like Tuesday night, where there were like 4 recaps and 2 previews that we needed to get done. And it was 11 p.m. and we hadn't started any of them, and we're both upset and emotionally drained. That's the hard part. If we could just do like Michigan State, honestly, I think that's some of our best content, is when it's raw. It's when it's honest and we're upset. We're talking through it. But I don't know. There's probably a line. Some people probably get very frustrated when our analysis is more emotional driven, and some people probably enjoy it. So,
yeah. Luckily for you, the internet's a place where you can find all different types of emotional, non-emotional analysis and things like that. I think it adds to it adds to us. It is us. There is no sleepers without passion.
Yeah, we're emotional wrecks. That is who we are. That's not going to go anywhere. So Coy, he has one we're going to use as an entire segment today. He said, All-American or nah? This is an attempt to illustrate how many guys are having high-level seasons. We're literally going to use Coy's list. He put a bunch of players on a list. We're going to save that for a segment in just a little bit. I'm very excited about it. Ethan says, if you could choose one rap album to describe the way Michigan State has played this season, which would you choose?
Probably like a Slipknot album.
Do you know any Slipknot albums?
No, the one that's like feels like you're banging your head against the wall. It's got a hint of racism to it. That one.
Got it. Okay. I have one that I feel pretty good about here. I think this Michigan State season is Donda. Yeah, I think it's Donda, because I think this is a product of someone who once couldn't miss on a year-to-year basis and has now put out 4 consecutive stinkers. And the only people defending and acting like this is a classic or is something great are the people that are just going to say everything this program does is great.
Not mad at that. I did want to shout out Ethan's example of the Chance album?
Coloring Book?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you notoriously anti-Chance. I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but
I'm anti-Chance the rapper, love Chance the person.
Yeah.
I love podcasts with my friend Greg. Fire up the mic.
Kind of goes. Can we at least admit Ultralight Beam's verse is special?
But he doesn't have the best verse on that.
That's a lie.
I mean, he has
on Ultralight Beam.
It's a good verse, but the best line is, "This is my part, nobody else speak. This is my part, nobody else speak."
This little light of mine is the worst line of his verse, to be honest. The entire part before that, where he catches the rhythm, is when it's cooking. Yeah, I'm not a huge Chance defender anymore. Acid Rap was dope, and I actually did like Coloring Book though. But everything after Coloring Book, I think's been disastrous.
Can Michigan State be Honestly Nevermind by Drake?
I don't think so. What's the play there?
Been great in the past, been good, and just drop an absolute stinker.
Yeah, I think it's more. I think the Kanye analogy is better if you're going with been great, now they're this.
You want to make it known that it's 4 straight stinkers.
Oh, that's yeah. There's not an element of surprise to this if we're being honest about who they are now. You know,
I suppose.
Yeah. This is what it is. Okay. Eric T says, not sure if you've already covered this on a previous recent pod, but why is Maryland so bad?
Oh, there's a couple reasons why Maryland's bad. It starts at the top. Mr. Sir Willard. The dialogue has already begun. I have notes on my iPhone app, and I will be releasing that in full short novel form very soon here. But I have very, very, very serious questions about that Maryland program and what they do during the summer.
I would love it if you wrote a book, by the way. I would 100% read a Carter Elliott novel. That'd be great.
I will be releasing one day a children's book.
Interesting.
And I think it's going to slap.
I wrote a children's book last week.
Let's keep that on the low because we're actually going to publish that.
Yeah, no, I have a whole conversation to have with you. Like, it's a new revenue stream. I have a lot of ideas here. Maryland is bad because Deshaun Harris-Smith is a non-factor. That's my answer. Guy says, I support a bad basketball team. Yeah, Nebraska was embarrassing last night, Guy. It's a bad look for you and us.
But also at the same time, I'm not going to feel bad about it because we tried to tell you.
I also think a part of this is that Minnesota is a lot better than people are willing to give them credit for.
I do want to say shout out to the Minnesota fans, the three that always engage with sleepers. The minute that clock hit 0, the DMs were full with the update question mark, and I respect that so much.
Yeah, I do respect it too. I'm big fans of these fans right now. I know they're not big fans of us, but it's good. Malik Perry wants to come a little feisty guy here. He says your third member was talking a lot of trash. Now he's backtracking so hard. Guy, how you like your Minnesota L? Well, Malik, Guy is not here to defend himself, but he does not like his Minnesota L. And I appreciate you holding him accountable, Malik. That's very kind. Melba says a few weeks ago, someone asked if Big Ten basketball was split into divisions like football, which division would be better? I think you narrowly picked the East. I don't really recall. I thought it was a fun idea, so I decided to track it this season. Now that everyone has played at least one game in conference, here is where we currently stand. See the graphic below. Regardless of current results, it feels like things should now lean toward the West. This is incredible from Melba. So yeah, if you see the numbers here, we have the West at 2-1 to start the season of when she put this out for us. Sorry, 2-1 cross division. East is 1-2 cross division. West is 5-4 overall. East is 4-5 overall. It feels like Northwestern is the big swing there a little bit to me, although Purdue took the L, but like Northwestern and Wisconsin being better than we thought seems like that could be what shakes out for the West.
Yeah, I think it is, but also like for the East, thank God. I can't believe it. Thank God for Indiana in the East.
Yeah. Crazy.
We didn't have the Hoosiers. This would be a dog race.
Yeah, Michigan and Michigan State. If Michigan State don't turn it around, it's going to be a runaway for the West. Crazy. Melba, thank you for doing that. That's a very cool idea. I hope you keep doing that because that would be really fun to keep up with throughout the season. Jesse wants to know, are people that love sports as much as we do, whether we gamble or not on them, or if our knees have both been completely replaced? So the only competition we find is in fantasy leagues or at a poker table. Do we all qualify as degenerates?
That question's way too specific. I need to know if he has both his knees.
Basically, are you a degenerate even if you don't gamble? If you're just a sports addict, does that count as a degenerate?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think degenerate is tied to like irresponsible gambling habits.
No, I think degenerate could be tied to anything. Like the first 3 years after college for me, I was a degenerate eater. And I ballooned. So like that's a thing.
I guess that's true. I feel like I wasn't a big part of your life the 3 years after college. Like you always act like there was like an overweight cart era. I feel like I never experienced it.
You missed it. It was bad.
Huh. I don't know. I don't buy that it happened. We'll see. Scrolling down, is there anything else here? Skipping things that people didn't like tag us in to actually ask us on.
Also, in my overweight era, if we're really keeping it blunt, but
Malik says, Greg, what's the sound the rim makes when you bet on Nebraska?
It's the same sound that Malik makes in the Discord when he tries to convince us that Michigan State basketball players are good. Clank.
And Booby wraps us up with his comment today. If you had the option, would you take the trade? It is AJ Hoggard or Javon Quinterly. I know your answer to this.
Yeah.
It's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yes. Are you like no hesitation whatsoever?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the worst player you would trade AJ Hoggard for?
Like just any player, like PGs, or what are we talking here?
Any player. Who is the worst player in college basketball this season that you would trade AJ Hoggard for?
Damn. Wish I had my Sean Paul knowledge right now. Someone on Wright State or something.
Like, are
I
you
trade.
trading? Are you trading AJ Hogarth for Jack Golke from Oakland?
Yes.
Are you trading AJ Hogarth for Rocket Watts from Oakland?
No.
Okay. I wanted to see. I thought that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah. I actually consider, but no.
AJ for Pierre Brooks.
No.
That one's interesting to me because Pierre's been better than AJ this year
He has been. Found his level.
and playing a position of need for you.
True. Like, I would trade AJ for Peyton Sparks.
Okay, that's bad, man. That's so bad. Will Cheddar?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Imagine in the summer saying you would trade AJ Hogarth for Will Cheddar on December 7th.
We're here.
I would have loved if we could like try and dissect what happened to get there. Like, if I had known you would say that, I would think it's Cheddar might be really good instead of the opposite.
Cheddar's solid.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. We could use that.
All right. Fascinating. By the way, Booby, I'm just saying this to you because I know I haven't responded to your DMs. Booby sent me like a big bracketology post. I think it was yesterday. He put a lot of time into this graphic. It's awesome. Booby, I don't know what to do with your bracketology posts. We have to figure this out because I think if we put a graphic out from a Sleepers account that says Booby's bracketology, there's going to be a lot of questions coming at us.
There's going to be a lot. Also, isn't it too early to put out bracketology things, or is like Lenardi already in his bag?
Lenardi's in his bag in June. So apparently if you're Joe Lenardi, it's not too early. Some people wait a little bit. I am perfectly fine with the concept of bracketology, and I am interested in Booby's assistance with a lot of things. And more so, if Booby wants to post stuff on his own, he should absolutely do it. I almost feel bad. I should have responded to you last night, but I was busy with some other stuff. And I just don't know what to do because like we've made Guy a character in the world a little bit. I'm very willing to do that with Booby as well. But if we just like release a graphic one day that says Booby's bracketology, I think we're going to get some serious questions. So
100%.
We need to work through it a little bit. But I love how the graphics look, Booby. And I appreciate you sending me like those player of the day, team of the day. We've done some player of the day stuff from Sleepers throughout the last couple of weeks. Those are graphics from Booby. Booby edits is going crazy right now. So is everything all right over there? What are you doing?
I just realized like this thing like on an easel, it's a little bit morbid, a little bit. Like, I feel like this is what someone would do at like my funeral. They would put up my jersey on an easel.
Yeah, you just realized that to
Did
the
you
point
realize that off rip?
yeah, but also like what about this moment in this podcast made you turn around and realize that it looks morbid?
I don't know. I'm a little slow.
You're very perceptive of your surroundings today, man. I don't know. Okay. Want to get to the topics? Are you in a good headspace, or are you?
I don't know if I should take melatonin anymore.
Do you need a minute?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. You want to start with Big Ten coach tiers?
I would love to start with. You don't ever have to ask me to start with tiers.
You don't like tiers. That's what you said before we clicked record. You wanted rankings, and I said no. We're going to do tiers because tiers is more fun. So here we are. This was a comment on one of our YouTube videos earlier this week. Somebody said you guys need to do Big Ten coach tiers, and it had like 7 likes. So here you are. I like it. Let's go through all the Big Ten coaches that you want to name. You don't have to do all 14. You'll probably forget a couple programs, to be honest, including probably my program. What are your Big Ten head coach tiers?
Yeah, I was gonna say like, who we putting for Michigan? Are we just putting staff or like what?
Let's do Juwan, but let's envision a fully healthy Juwan, knowing that like his health is something he probably can't live up to, you know?
Okay. All right. So in tier 1, I'm gonna put Matt Painter, Brad Underwood, and Tom Izzo. I'm still gonna
name the tier, please.
Coaches that could win a national championship.
Okay. Depending on how you named that tier, I was going to give you a lot of shit.
Coaches that I want to coach my team if I'm in a national championship game. Those are the 3 I'm picking from.
I like that answer. I like that tier. I actually endorsed that tier.
Okay. The next one. Good basketball coaches. Just good coaches. I'm going to go Greg Gard. Because I think Greg Gard actually deserves a little bit more credit. I shouldn't put him as low as I actually do.
He's been good.
I'm going to put Mike Woodson in there.
Whoa. Wait. You're giving Woodson credit now?
I think Woodson's done a great job of getting talent to Indiana so far.
Okay.
Could he do it in a different way? Could he make it fit a little bit more? Yeah, he could. But he's got Khalil Ware playing like a top 15 draft pick after being non-existent and only good against folding chairs over the summer.
Yeah.
And he's bringing in guys like Liam McNeely. He might be in the lead for Derek Queen. Derek Queen. There's something there. I'm giving him credit for that.
Yeah.
And then I got Holtman in that category as well.
Okay.
The next category is good coaches, but they let you down. In this category, I got Fran McCaffrey, I got Steve Peichel, and I got Juwan.
Okay. Interesting group to lump together there.
It's very interesting, but you knew this was going to happen when you put me in a tier situation.
Yeah. No, I'm not here to push back super hard on it, given where we are, but I will just note one of those guys has made a Sweet 16 and an Elite 8 and won the Big Ten outright in 4 years of coaching, and the other 2 have been here for a decade plus and haven't done any of that.
That's very true. That is a good point. I feel like I should have noted that, but you can note that in your tiers. In the non-ranking category of this, I'm going to have Mike Rhodes, just because I don't think I can put him in a tier yet. So he's just going to be an outlier, not ranked, not tiered, to be determined. This category I have, there's nothing they can do about it. They actually might be a good coach. In this category, we're going to have Ben Johnson. And actually, now that I think about it, Ben Johnson is going to sit alone in that category.
Okay.
Ben Johnson might be a good coach, but I don't know if there's anything he can do.
Okay. What does that mean? Just the Minnesota resources?
It's just Minnesota.
Okay.
If in 5 years I told you that Minnesota was like on the verge of being a tournament team, would you be surprised?
Maybe not. I don't know. Like we've seen, like Richard Pitino got him there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Trevor Mbakwe was good, man.
Mbakwe, that was like in 2008.
Yeah, I miss those days.
I do.
Something about the barn.
Rodney Williams.
One day you and I will go to the barn.
We will. And I will moo in the barn. And then the last category is these coaches stink. Kevin Willard and Fred Hoiberg.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess I don't hate that.
Can you give me credit? I don't think I missed any coaches.
No, I don't think you did either. I'm trying to see. You said, yeah, I'm going through all the names. You did lump a lot of them together and just say like incomplete, but yeah, you got everybody. That's interesting. Okay. I also can't wait until next year when we get to add Dana Altman into this. Like
Cronin.
I feel like it's going to be kind of fun to discuss. I also think Mick Cronin might just run through this league for like a decade when he gets here.
People are going to hate when we add those teams. I'm not moving Andy Enfield from the top ever. I don't care what he does.
All right, here's my tiers. I think honestly pretty similar to yours with one loud disruption at the top. I want to say this. There's 2 different tiers at the top for me, and I would be okay with either one coming first. This is like tier 1B and 1B. There is no 1A. It's 2 separate tiers. They're split out, but I don't care which one comes first. My first tier is great coaches. Great coaches in their prime. Matt Painter and Brad Underwood. My second tier is Hall of Fame coach. That's Tom Izzo. The reason I'm splitting this up, and I think they belong in different tiers, is that I think there are very real, fair concerns that Tom Izzo is not going to get back in the portal era. I just think it is what it is. Brad is going to be competitive in this era. Painter is going to be competitive in this era. Tom Izzo, we don't know. If this year's team is not competitive, I don't know what we're supposed to say. Because next, all this talent back next year, Mady Sissoko starting at center for his 5th year next year again. I don't know what we're supposed to do. He's still a great coach. If, with your hypothetical, get to a national title game, who do I want coaching? Izzo is in arguably more than Painter and Underwood. If I could just coach my team for an elimination game, I'll take Izzo over anybody else in the conference. But that's not you got to build a roster to get there. And that's why I have Brad and Painter in their own separate split. Whichever way you prioritize it is fine by me. Those are the top 2 tiers for me.
Last question. Who's the best roster builder currently in the Big Ten?
Painter.
Painter?
Yeah, Painter. Because Painter,
I'd argue it's Underwood.
No. Underwood will have years where he builds the best roster, and then he will have years where he builds a terrible roster.
Yeah, I was just really I was focusing on right now on this one.
Yeah, Underwood's too volatile with his approach. Obviously, when it hits, it's the best. But I think, I like Paint. Paint brings guys in that are talented, and then he keeps those guys. He hasn't had a one and done in his entire career, and he's had really talented players come in and impact games as freshmen. He's always going to have a 7-footer who's elite. He's figuring out how to contribute in the portal and plug the gaps. Purdue's always going to have a competitive roster. They have every single season. So that's it. All right. This is where it gets interesting for me. Tier 3 is coaches, I believe, can win the Big Ten. And in general, I have faith in on a year-to-year basis. Fran McCaffrey, Chris Holtmann.
Didn't know if Fran was going to make this one for you.
Yes. So I give Fran a lot of credit because while I say that Iowa is a sleeping giant, the reality is that Iowa basketball probably shouldn't win anything ever. Mm-hmm. And I think Fran has given them way more success in the last decade just in a conference level than I would ever expect Iowa to have. So obviously the March stuff stinks. The March stuff applies to both these guys right now. Chris Holtmann had a really bad little stretch in March. But I think any given year, those guys put high quality basketball teams on the floor. They get NBA players in their system. They feature them. They have all conference guys. Holtmann's team looks really good this season right now. I know a lot of people saw that coming, but I trust that those guys are good coaches, even when they have little blips on the radar. Those are guys that can finish top 4 in the Big Ten on a consistent basis. Next tier. Guys I think are good coaches that have limited ceilings and do it ugly. Greg Gard, Mike Woodson, Steve Peichel.
That's a great tier. Great name, all fitting. Love that.
Good basketball coaches, objectively. Would I ever really be excited if they were my coach? Probably not. And now Peichel might change this because Peichel has 2 of the top 3 recruits in the country next year. So maybe Peichel will redefine his ceiling entirely. But for now, ugly basketball teams, guys that win games that aren't going to win a national championship.
Okay.
You'll notice I'm now 8 coaches in and haven't named a coach who has made an Elite 8 and a Sweet 16 and won the Big Ten outright in 5 years. Just want to make that known. The next tier for me is guys I think can be good coaches and have been good coaches, but I would never want touching my basketball program. Juwan Howard and Kevin Willard.
The coach of your current program.
Guys that I think have been good coaches that I I would personally never, ever want leading my program. Juwan Howard and Kevin Willard.
Solid tier.
Is what it is. That leaves us to the bottom four. I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing as you. My second to last tier is guys that can have a year every 10 years. Chris Collins, Ben Johnson, Mike Rhodes.
I forgot Chris Collins in my rankings.
Chris Collins, Ben Johnson, Mike Rhodes, or have a year every 10 years, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then my bottom tier is disaster. That's Fred Hoiberg.
Fred Hoiberg might be the biggest finesser of all finessers. He's making like $3 million.
Yeah, he's making $3 million to be handsome and show up to Lincoln though. Like they're getting what they want from Fred Hoiberg.
It's worth every penny.
They had Tim Miles, man. Tim Miles had him finish 4th in the Big Ten one year, and they said, "Get out." Like
we met Tim Miles too, by the way. Great guy,
the nicest guy. He's incredible. So, all right, that was a fun segment. I enjoyed that. Do you feel good about our tiers collective?
Good job. I really like yours.
Who do you think won? Whose tiers are better, yours or mine?
Honestly, I think you won.
I kind of like how you did the top better than I did the top, though. Like I kind of like that you lumped the 3 together.
Yeah, I think if we could combine our 2, I think it'd be perfect. But I think I lean towards yours.
Who do you think is the closest coach outside of Painter, Underwood, Izzo to being in that tier?
Ooh, I think that gap is extremely large.
Me too. But if like you're pressed to say names, I feel like you had guard the closest according to your tiers. But who would be the one to break through if there was one?
Ooh.
See, this is where I throw my tiers aside on this because I think the highest upside guy is Juwan.
I was going to say Juwan or honestly Woodson.
Okay. I don't hate Woodson.
Yeah. Like if Woodson could mesh the talent he gets with the actual fit, could be extremely dangerous.
Or Holtman or Peichel. I wouldn't hate those answers. Yeah. Peichel, like with the recruits coming.
Holtman, if he just gets over the hump.
Yeah. But I think my gut answer is that like the highest ceiling guy is still Juwan out of everybody, even though I have him way further down. But he's the only one that's done anything like that. So I don't know. It's a gross. To summarize, the early 2000s was the golden era of Big Ten coaches. Like late 2000s when Beeline got going, and you had Bo. Crean had great years. Thad Matta was incredible. Like
Izzo,
there was just great Hall of Fame coaches everywhere, and now we're out here standing for Greg Gard.
Yeah, who was that? Like, would that fall under like early Turgeon years?
Yeah, there was a year I think where Turgeon overlapped with those guys, and he had Maryland top 5 in the country. Like
Maryland fans need to take a deep look into their mirror.
No comment. We'll let that go. Tim Miles was also around for some of these years. Good coaches in this conference.
Good coaches.
Yeah. Okay. Next topic today. We're going to go back to Coy's comment in the Discord, and we're going to play a game of, is he an All-American? So Coy gave us a list. There are 14 players. So we'll go kind of quick on this, but just, is this an All-American? Yes or no? Interpret this however you want. First team, second team, whatever. Is this player going to end up an All-American? Yes or no? Starting with Zach Edey.
Yes.
Dalton Connect.
No.
Whoa. Talk me through Connect.
I can name, I think, 2 wings that will get in over him right now.
Are you going first team All-American?
I'm going like first team with like maybe 3 players like off the bench.
Okay. so you're making up your own criteria of 8 players.
Because I feel like if we do like first team, second team, we could say yes to damn near everybody.
I mean, we'd have to cut 4.
I'm cutting Connect.
You're cutting 6 of. Okay. I don't know how you can cut a guy that just went for 39 at North Carolina or whatever he did. Come on, that wasn't his fault.
Was it not his fault?
I think Dalton Knecht is absolutely an All-American. Absolutely.
Okay.
Tyson Walker.
No.
Why?
A combination of I don't think he has the stats for it, and team success isn't there.
I think Tyson Walker will be an All-American. The team will get better. The shooting numbers will only go up. I think he could average like 22 a game by the end of the season, and he's a no-brainer All-American. Terrence Shannon.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't need to spend more time on Terrence. We both think he's great. So you now have 2 players you think are All-Americans. I have 4 thus far. Jadon Ledee. I don't know if it's Jaden or Jadon.
Yes.
that one hurts you?
It's like the stats are nasty. I'm just not a believer in the Aztecs.
This is my first no. I thought
love that you said no.
I thought San Diego State's loss to Grand Canyon was a little scary for them. I think they are not as good as I thought they were. And I think Ledee's numbers are about to take a rather large drop off. I think it was an out-of-body experience for the first month.
You think his numbers are about to drop?
Nice. Kyle Filipowski.
Yes.
Shocked by that. Elaborate.
I think that Duke's going to get it together somewhat, and he's going to have the best stats of any Duke player. I actually think his numbers might go up a little more with Tyrese Proctor out, too.
Oh, are we doing the Ewing theory with Tyrese? Duke's going to get better with Proctor out?
I actually wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Okay. What are Flip's numbers right now? Do we have those ready?
I can pull those up.
Yeah, I'd love to know Flip's numbers right now. My gut instinct to this was no for Flip, but I can acknowledge he's incredibly good and has stupid numbers.
He's averaging 19 and 8.
Okay, I guess I'm doing this beyond just first team All-Americans.
Two blocks a game too.
Yeah, I'm doing this beyond just first team All-Americans. Flip is an All-American to me. And a lot of that is the Duke bump as well. Nobody who averages that on Duke is going to avoid an All-American team. Boogie Ellis.
No.
Yeah, that's a no for me too. Why is it a no for you?
I don't think Boogie's stats are warranted enough given his team success. I think USC's been a disaster this year.
I wouldn't say disaster, but I do think they need to start winning.
I held them in higher regards, and I think they've been a little bit of a disaster.
Okay. I also think Collier's presence, even though Collier hasn't been at his best, is going to hurt Boogie. Like, no matter what Boogie's numbers are, people are going to think Collier's equally good, you know?
We also got to address the fact that Collier is he's good, but boy, I was watching some film that Gavoni dropped. That man is I ain't gonna use the other L word, but I'll use lethargic, let's say.
Yeah. I haven't picked up a ton on that, to be honest, but
he's low-key lazy.
Collier could do anything though, and I would support it. So that's probably just me being a little biased. RJ Davis.
Can I get a quick second to just I need to know what RJ Davis's numbers are, because my original answer is no, but if his stats are something crazy, then I think it needs to be acknowledged.
This is a really good list from Coy, because I'm glad he didn't include Armando Bacot. He didn't include Tyrese Proctor. Like, he's narrowing in on guys that we would have to think about.
Okay, so did you have Tyson as an All-American?
I did.
I think if you have Tyson as an All-American, you need to have RJ as an All-American.
What are RJ's numbers?
RJ's averaging 21, 3 and 3, 44 from the field, and 37 from 3, 95 from the line.
So I think RJ ends up being a no. Here's why. Tyson Walker's going to get all the credit when Michigan State turns around, because he's pretty much the only good player on that team.
You said when?
Yeah, when. It's going to happen. RJ Davis is not going to get all the credit for Carolina. People want to give Bacot the credit, and people think Harrison Ingram is the best player on that team. So I think RJ's numbers take a little bit of a dip. He ends up under 20 points a game. And even if Carolina is really good, they don't know who to reward as the best player on that team. Boo Booey.
Yes.
Wow. I love you for that. I think it's a no, sadly. And it's not Boo's fault. He might be the best guard on this list, but he's not going to get the credit
very
for it.
interested that Tyson made it over some of these other guards that we're listing out right now. Is that just projecting, like you said? Like you think they turn it around and his numbers go up?
You want my truth? I think if Tyson Walker's averaging 20 points a game and he can't make an open three, what does Tyson look like when he starts making threes? Like it's not going to happen all season long. But like that's my whole thing earlier this week was just I don't want to give Tyson credit before he does it. Once he does it, then yeah, he's a no-brainer All-American. He just needs to do it, and I'm betting that he will. Okay, Hunter Dickinson.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a yes. Kevin McCullough.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a yes. Both guys, but arguably both first-team All-Americans for me. I think they're going to have stupid numbers that end up looking really good.
With that power comes great responsibility, Jayhawk Nation. Don't lose first weekend. I'll be there.
I wonder who's the last team to have 2 first-team All-Americans. Also, you won't be there. You're going to be in the building for Kansas's first game.
Oh no, I'm not saying I'm going to be there. I'm not saying I'm going to be physically there, but just know I'm going to be there.
Okay, all right. Who's the last team that had 2 first-team All-Americans on it?
Probably had to be like that Duke team.
Can we get sleeper stats and info department to
Why do I feel like it's Zion and RJ Barrett?
It might be. Yeah, it probably is. Great team.
That's one that comes to mind.
Great team. And this team, instead of Cam Reddish, they have Johnny Furphy. That should be fun. Tyler Kolek.
Yes.
That's a yes. Trey Alexander.
No.
What? Come on.
No.
I'm a yes for Trey.
I think he's gonna get over. I think it's gonna be a leveling out of who does what on that team. Like they still got Shireman. They don't even like give it to Culk anymore because they just shoot so many threes now.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna even out a little bit.
Okay. I'm sticking with Trey. I think he's gonna lead the Big East in scoring, in my opinion. That'll get it done. And Tristan Newton.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a yes as well. All right. So going back through the list, I had Edey, Connect, Walker, Shannon, Flip, Dickinson, McCullough, Kolek, Alexander, Newton. That's my first and second team All-Americans right there. And if I need to, I can tell you who's first and who's second. You go back through the list. Who was yours? You had Edey, you had Shannon, did you have Ledee?
I did have Ledee.
Edey, Shannon, Ledee, Flip, RJ Davis, Boo Booey, Hunter Dickinson, Kevin McCullough, Tyler Kolek, Tristan Newton. So we both had 10. This worked out nicely.
Look at that.
Who's your first team?
My first team is Tyler Kolek, Hunter Dickinson, Zach Edey, Terrence Shannon, Kevin McCullough.
Okay, mine is Edey, Dickinson, McCullough, Kolek, Tristan Newton.
You are leaving Terrence Shannon off first team.
I think Tristan Newton's going to get the natty bump, the UConn bump.
Okay.
Terrence Shannon will have first team numbers. He'll finish on the second team.
Okay. Understandable.
Really fun segment. Thanks, Coy, for that. All right. Third segment today. This is just a great embodiment of what Sleepers has become. You know, we have like a really thoughtful segment like that. We start with like a whole tier segment that the comments gives us. So many people contributing to the show. And then we're left to choose a third topic on our own. And what we land on is this. Why do all the Big Ten freshmen suck? This has been festering, to use a word from Cart about 45 minutes ago. For me, for 2 weeks now, I wanted to give it time. I didn't want to jump the gun and do this too early. We're a month into the season now, and we've seen everybody. And coming into the year, this class got a bunch of praise. There was a bunch of guys named on watch lists. There was a bunch of one-and-done talk. There was a bunch of speculation that all these teams would take step forwards, relying on superstar freshmen to get it done. And I'll just run through the names and how bad this has been. Deshaun Harris-Smith, horrible. Scotty Middleton, non-existent. Mackenzie Mbako, has been better in the last week and a half for sure, but he was really, really rough to start the season. Cohen Carr, Xavier Booker, pretty much nothing. Who am I missing?
Fears.
Fears has been better lately, but still not a huge impact guy. We kind of knew that. Miles Colvin, where are you? Barely in the rotation. Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn, he played 2 minutes the other night. Like, guys just either aren't playing, or if they are playing, they're not doing anything, to the point that Owen Freeman and John Blackwell are the runaway favorites for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. And you can even throw Cam Christie in there. Cardio Cups, don't let me forget you, by the way. A lot of people told me you were special. You've got like 2 points in a month. But great defender. Really, really great defender. Then my team, we can lump George Washington III in here too. Nobody expected much from him. But the problem is all these highly touted guys are playing like they're George Washington III. I don't like that. Why are all these freshmen so bad?
Well, I think you can attribute it to a couple things. One, I don't think this class was as highly regarded in general, just like the whole class of high school, at least like among people I know and speak to who follow this closer with a closer eye than me. There was not much exciting about this class. The number one player kind of flipped back and forth. Everyone's mostly looking forward to the next couple classes that are coming up, the Cooper Flags, Koa Pete, like those classes. So this class wasn't held in that high regard. And also, not to make excuses for this freshman class, but this might be one of the last freshman class, or this next one coming up, that'll have to deal with playing against 24-year-olds and 23-year-olds on a nightly basis. Like, I feel like that does play a factor somewhat. One, it's hard for a freshman to come in and succeed. I know that a lot of freshmen do it, but it's not an easy feat whatsoever. Usually freshmen got to have a certain amount of shit to them, or different to their game, or be a difference maker. It's extremely hard to do so in an era where you're playing damn near 22-year-olds on a nightly basis. And it's hard for those guys to come in through, grassroots and high school ball and things like that. But like, if you think about it across the country, the best freshman in the country now is Reed Sheppard. Like, Reed Sheppard's been great. Don't get me wrong. Reed Sheppard was like the number 30 player in the country, 35th, something like that. High 4-star. Like, McDonald's All-American, don't get me wrong, really good player. But in a really good year with really good freshmen, are we really being like Reed Sheppard is the best freshman in college basketball right now? Because he is probably, right?
Yeah, I think he is.
And don't let it get misconstrued here. I love Reed Sheppard. I think Reed Sheppard is great, and he is the best freshman in college basketball right now. But at the same time, the drop off after Reed Sheppard to me is pretty large.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to a stats page right now and look up where guys are. There isn't a freshman in the top 25 scorers in the conference, according to Big10.com.
There's not a freshman doing anything. Like, there's no defensive, even in the summer Iowa, we hear all this Brock Harding stuff. Nothing, no Brock Harding. It's just it's baffling, honestly. And maybe we get to a point towards Big Ten play where someone emerges, but right now, Jonathan Blackwell is the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, which is crazy. Because I like Blackwell, I do. Don't get me wrong, but in a year where freshmen were supposed to step up, him being Freshman of the Year is insane.
Well, and I just felt like last year there were guys who weren't even pedigree guys that were starters and mattered, right? Like Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer from day one were whoa, they got a freshman backcourt that's insane. Connor Essegian really came on strong throughout the season. And look at Connor Essegian now. You don't need to be a great player to make an impact in this conference as a freshman. I obviously don't need to go in detail, and he was a liability for a bunch of moments last year, but Jett Howard came in scoring 20 a game immediately last year. There isn't one guy in the conference who can do that this year, and that's baffling to me. Jamie Kaiser was another one. Everybody was gassing up in the offseason of how good he's going to be for Maryland, and he just
even Gavin Griffiths has been somewhat of a letdown.
Griffiths is probably top 4, top 5 in the conference this year. And it's weird. The Ohio State guys are the most baffling to me, because Holman has such a track record of success with breakout freshmen, and maybe it happens later in the season, but Tyson Chapman is barely even playing. Middleton has been bad.
Middleton was actually pretty good last game.
This most recent game last night, he had 3 points in 16 minutes. with
Oh,
3.
I was talking about Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, he's had moments, I guess. He is shooting 47% from the floor. He has 1 double-digit scoring game. It was their first game of the year. Does Scotty Middleton? He's been single digits every other game, coming off the bench. Like I just don't get it. I don't understand. And I think it's sad because there's all the jokes about the Big Ten Conference and the caliber of it. And at least in the past couple of years, you could point to like, well, there's a lot of young talent in this league. Cart, there's no young talent in this league this year. Like, it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, very.
Give me one freshman that we mentioned or didn't mention that you would bet on to, by the end of the season, be an impact guy, even though he's not right now.
Scotty Middleton.
Okay. So you're off the DHS train entirely?
Yeah. I don't think DHS stands a chance because of the structure and the coach of that team.
Got it.
Even if he did want to switch it on.
Okay. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to stand by it being one of the Michigan State guys, either Jeremy Fears or Cohen Carr. I don't know how we're going to get there, but I think we're going to get there.
You think it's going to be him?
One of them. I don't know which one, either Fears or Carr. But I just think like at some point something's got to give. And somehow we're going to get to a point where one of those guys is like a 25 to 30 minutes a night guy for Michigan State, and he's going to make an impact. Needs to be given the opportunity, but I'm sticking with that will happen. And then let's wrap with this. Who is your pick to actually win Big Ten Freshman of the Year? Because like as good as Blackwell has been, there's no way he can win Big Ten Freshman of the Year, right? There's no way. I mean, I guess there's a way, but like he's not even a starter on Wisconsin.
Yeah, but I think like I don't know. His role might increase for all we know.
Is that your pick? That's who you think wins Big Ten Freshman of the Year?
No, I think actually Mbako ends up winning it.
It's mine too. We both sound so sad saying that, though.
I am, very much so.
He has been really good in the last week.
Yeah, he has.
Better? You don't like the really good?
He's been better.
He's been really good in the last
It's been really good there. Okay, fine. There.
Keep winning games. Hey, they're on a 28-win pace right now, Cart.
That's crazy.
Also, they're not. I'm just making up. We're not a math podcast. That was just a number. Let's go to one big thing presented by Big V. What is your one big thing today?
My one big thing today is that if you want to put some decor into your basement, don't prop it up on an easel.
Looks like a funeral.
Yeah, don't do that.
Got it. I feel like I had a one big thing and I'm forgetting it now. I've really struggled to remember my one big things this week. I used to keep a notepad and I've stopped because I've gotten lazy. All right. My one big thing is that I'm in love with Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa. I'm trying to do a feature.
I'm in love with her.
Hey, the Luca Nia. Fuck him. I like Dua Lipa.
Yeah, I'm in love with her.
If you want to come,
That's the Sleepers podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.